There's the Clockhouse, Saturday 28th. 28th of April 1988. Shot Athletic. John Morris, Archie, Starr at the moment.
Just kept on with my sons and now my grandson.
Really?
But I told you now, I think over the phone, my grandson, eldest grandson, he hasn't missed a match at all this season.
Hasn't he really?
Home or away.
Goes away as well.
Gosh.
Yes, he's run all his costumes.
It's cost him a fortune.
It has. And he brings home the programme. I've got a whole lot now I must read. He brings them home to me and brings them all up to date. He's got so-and-so, the so-and-so granddad. There's Hammers away, Coventry, Sky Blues, Liverpool.
Oh, but he's done some miles, I mean.
Yes.
Does he go around by train or does he drive?
No, train, but I've done all the train. Well, some of them he's gone by coach, but most of them by train.
How old is he then?
He's 16.
Oh, good.
He's even got had days off, when they played midweek, so he could go.
Go on.
Days off from work, yeah.
Oh, he's enthusiastic.
Always enthusiastic with anything.
How far back do you go, John?
I can remember them in the 3rd division before they ever went up, the first time. I vaguely remember them going with my grandfather, but because that I can't recall. I can remember some of the players like Wood and the goalkeeper, Goodman, the centre forward.
You go back further than I do.
Goodman wasn't that the chap that Percy was mentioning? That
That's right.
People used to come from all over London to watch Goodman play.
Goodman, yes.
Yes, that's right.
And there was the fellow with the one eye, Burton.
Herod?
Was that Bronco Burton?
Bronco Burton,
Yeah.
yes. And then there was Herod, Norman Smith and Herod at the backs. Remember that?
Yes. Yeah, well, I remember Norman Smith.
And
Just
Herod.
before me, I'm going. My father told me.
And
about
Charlie
it.
Preedy,
Yes, Preedy the goalkeeper.
the old
Yes.
goalkeeper.
Yes.
And then there was George Armitage, the centre half.
Yes, George Armitage. Yes.
Then coming on a bit, there was I can't remember the
Lennox?
Wilson Lennox, yes,
Wilson
Wilson Lennox.
Yes.
Fred Whitlow.
Yes.
Frank, I don't remember, Wiper. Wiper
Yes,
outside right.
outside right, yes. I just
Horton.
remember these. I must have been very small at the time.
Johnny Rankin.
Rankin, yeah. Remember
I
him.
remember
Horton.
going over to see Fulham once they beat Fulham 5-2. Horton got 4 goals.
Oh,
It's the
good
same
little
old
bit.
business every game. Old Wiper, because he had quite a turn of speed, down the right wing, slung it over, and Horton came in to hit it, met it first time.
Yeah.
And then about he got 4 goals like that.
Yeah, he was a
Terrific.
good winger, Horton, Jackie.
And a bloke named Thornton played his first and only game that day.
Hello, Harry.
Morning,
who?
Harry.
Thornton, red-faced
Don't
goalkeeper.
remember him.
Because there used to be a goalkeeper called Robertson. He played 1 season and lost
yes.
track of him. Good morning.
Peter Robertson.
This is John. This is Harry.
How do you
John,
do?
pleased to meet you.
Mr.
You
McAnuff.
haven't been down here before.
Hey, no, the first time I've been.
Yeah. Well, you should have come down when we had the class down.
Well, but try and get some more down. We had George Green and Charlie Revel who came down.
Yeah. My mother used to meet George Green because she used to go to the whist drive along at the tramways, just under the. There was a tram depot just
That's
under
right,
the.
yeah, my father used to work there for years. Yeah, tramway repairs.
That's
yeah.
right, tramway repairs.
Yeah.
He used to go there, the whist drive, old George
did he?
Green, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because my mother was a keen. I was up. I saw the cup final when they lost. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw them both. Yeah.
But I missed the one when.
Oh, you missed the winner.
I missed the winner.
Oh, yes, I saw them both.
Well, I just had my son had just been born when they won.
Oh, yeah.
I went up to Birmingham when they beat at the Villa.
Yeah.
When they beat Bolton. Remember Duffy scored that remarkable goal when he
Yeah,
ran.
I didn't see that. But
What happened with that goal?
He just got the ball and he ran from his own half. I've got to say how many yards he ran and finished up. And I remember Wiltshire was the referee, running by the side of him. Kept pace. It was a marvellous goal. It was.
apparently he beat man after man.
Man after man,
Marvellous individual, and finished up with scoring. I was listening on the radio down at the camp.
Yeah.
I was still in the
Oh,
army
yeah.
then.
Oh, he brought the house down.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure, you must have done. Which round was that in? Which round of
Was
the
that a
cup?
semi-final? Was
That
it?
was a semi-final. Yeah,
Semi-final.
Against
semi-final.
Bolton at Villa.
When I beat Bolton 2-0. But I was just thinking the difference in those days to the aggro you get now. I remember coming out the ground and the Bolton supporters saying they're the best of luck for you in the final.
Yeah.
Because Charlton deserved to win that day. There's no two ways about it. And the difference now, as I say, in the old days you went paid a shilling, that was all, wasn't it, for your Saturday afternoon. And woe betide if anybody spotted it for you in the crowd. I mean, they used to turn around and tell them to shut up and then something like that.
Yes, that was.
I mean, wherever you went, at the Charlton, I know a friend of mine said he was up at Chelsea one day and the bloke was using a bit of bad foul language and somebody tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Mind your language, Vicar."
Is there? Did you say you used to go to watch matches with your grandfather?
Yeah, my granny first took me down there. I think I think I was very young. I can't remember much. I think they were in the was it the Kent League? They were in before they went to the third division.
Yes,
Yeah.
before my time, yes.
Yeah,
It
they were in the Kent League
Kent
first.
League, weren't they?
Kent
Yeah.
League, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember much about them, but as I say, when they were in the third division, I can remember I think I can vaguely remember Wood in goal. I know Charlie Preedy. Oh, do you remember Fatty in Linden?
Oh, Linden,
the big,
yeah.
The big fat
Oh,
bloke?
yes.
He became their manager.
Yes, Fatty Linden. I remember him. Sam Langford.
Oh, yeah,
Another
Sam
one
Lang used
at
to
that
bat
time.
them as they went by, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Vicious
He had to bat them with their head. They had to try the old, round the back. And he's bat
A
them.
rough man, Sam
He
Lang.
was a tough. Yeah.
Did you have any brothers or
No, I was,
your father didn't go either?
No, my father got killed in the First War. I didn't have any brothers to go with it. I had a fair number of cousins. I remember the cousin. We used to go home match, league match one week, a combination the next. That's why, because in those days we didn't have the money to go and visit them while they were away.
No.
When they played away, there wasn't the money around, was there?
Wasn't, no.
But you used to get a jolly good game for the reserves.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good job. I mean, I used to see the up and coming first team players. I remember seeing Afton first in the reserve, and I thought, oh gosh, that bloke, he's going to make the first team. He was so good.
And Bartram. Remember him?
And who was the
Frank
fella that
first
went to Chelsea? Centre half.
Hinton.
Hinton.
Marvin Hinton.
You could see him. He was good player. And do you remember old? He would play for the year in year out. Hobbins never got in the first team. Sid Hobbins.
Very rare. Because Sam was never injured.
No. And then there was Saunders that went to.
They had two goalkeepers who played for years under Bartram, and that was Hobbins and Marsh.
Marsh, yeah.
That's right, Marsh.
But Marsh was
Couple
never.
occasional games.
Not,
Not like Hobbins.
no.
Would Hobbins have made a good first team player?
Yes.
Oh, he did. He
Goalkeeper.
eventually went to Leighton Orient. I mean, Saunders went from Charlton and played for West Bromwich Albion first division
That's right, yeah.
team for a year in year out.
Didn't Hobbins go to Millwall? Did he? Or am I dreaming?
I thought he went to Leighton Orient.
I don't think he was Millwall.
I don't think
Charlton
he was-
did have a goalkeeper go to Millwall, and I was trying to think of his name last week, but I can't think of it.
And who was the one that went to Brighton?
Oh,
with the G.
Gill.
Gill.
Wasn't it
He was another good goalkeeper.
Yes.
They got in any other teams first team. I mean, Hobbins, I would say, with due respect to Barton, he was a great goalkeeper. But for consistency and not doing anything outdated, Hobbins was a good, safe goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Really was.
Hobbins was different to Bartram. because
Different
he was-
altogether,
He
yeah.
was unspectacular, wasn't
Yes,
he?
it
He was
was.
the easiest way.
But,
He was never diving.
Yeah, but old Hobbins was a good, quiet,
Yeah,
strong.
that's right.
Was it Charlie?
Solid.
Was it Charlie Revel was telling us that old Bartram was short-sighted?
Yeah, we did.
Yes, so
That's right, and he was terrible on long balls. He was okay on short work, but on long work, I mean, there were countless occasions when Charlie Rebel was playing with him, where Sam just messed it up because he couldn't see the blooming thing.
You always want to have it when they're coming through the other opponent, they're doing this down the top of his trousers, around the elastic. And he'd call out, "He's offside, ref!" But he'd still make the save, unlike the son I do now, let it go in and argue after. He'd save the ball and see the referee made the decision, but he'd call out, "He's offside." It was the first time that anybody saw a goalkeeper head a ball, didn't
Yeah,
it?
that's right.
Oh,
Take
yeah.
penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a character. He's like very few characters like that. One of them is Grobbelaar. He's
Yeah.
a character, isn't he? You
Yes.
know, flamboyant sort of
Yeah.
character. Not many left now.
Charlie Wright was that way, wasn't he? He was a bit.
Charlie,
Yeah,
yes.
Charlie Wright
Charlie
Wright was
one
a
used
bit
to
of
talk to the spectators.
spectators, Because we had another.
They had three Wrights. Because
They
they
had
had
Alec Wright and
Died.
Harry Wright.
and Harry Wright.
Yeah.
One of them got killed. Alec
And
Wright
Alec
got
got
killed
killed
down
at
at Torquay.
Torquay,
He died
didn't he?
in a pool or in a sea.
Yes, and it is.
Dislocated his neck or broke his neck. or
Yeah.
something, didn't he? Unfortunately, a very good goalkeeper.
Sounds like there's some good goalkeepers in their time.
They
Oh,
always
they
had
had-
good
they
goalkeepers,
had
funny
some,
enough.
Robertson, do you remember Robertson?
Yes, Peter Robertson.
Peter Robinson.
He was the
He
Scot.
played. Yes, he was Scot. He only played one season, and
I don't know what happened to him. He was
I don't know,
good.
he just disappeared. I mean, he was a fine,
went back to Scotland.
fine goalkeeper.
He was
He
good.
really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Peter Robertson.
Well, that's going back a bit, isn't it? 1920.
I've lost count of the years. I can't
27,
remember them all.
28.
And I tell you a period when I can't I don't know much about them. When they had Burridge and Whitelaw and those kind, they had sort of.
Peter Burridge.
Peter
was
Burridge,
it
and,
Peter Burridge. Yeah, Burridge. Not Whitelaw. What was his name?
White something, wasn't it?
Wasn't Whitelaw. Not Whittaker.
Oh no, Whittaker played in the
he played in the
cup
cup
final.
final, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was before him. No, it wasn't.
Right.
Wasn't Whitlow.
No, Fred Whitlow
Centre
played for
forward, he was
years ago.
What period would this have been?
No, Whitelaw. I can't
It was in the
remember
period
what-
they had a bad when they got Cliff Holt
Ronnie White, yeah.
and all those kind of.
Yeah.
They got other people's left offs, didn't they? I mean,
Yeah,
Peter
that's right.
Burridge was good in his time, but when he came to Charlton, it was
Yeah, that's right.
he was right at the end of his career, and they just about scraped through that year with
Yeah, that's
with
right.
them.
White. I can't remember White.
Well, was this bloke a goalkeeper? This white?
No, just a halfback.
Halfback.
A halfback. And do you remember the throw? I'm trying to think. What wasn't Whitefoot? Another good halfback that had was Appleby. He played that.
That
season.
will be come from Leicester.
Leicester.
He went as manager to a team.
Yeah.
He still is a manager.
Is he?
He's still
Is
there,
he?
yeah.
Yeah.
Club he went to. They made him captain, didn't they?
And then they had.
And the halfbacks they had before that was Squibb Hammond and
Oh, Hammond. He was a good
Johnson.
Bert Johnson.
Bert Johnson.
Do you remember Ford? He went to Millwall.
Yes, right.
He was contemporary of Green. Green was a nice halfback.
Yeah.
Georgie Green.
George Green, yeah.
Was a good player.
Good player. And you remember Wright, the halfback?
Oh, yes.
He used to give
The
the
halfback.
impression he'd lost control of the ball and they think the other man was going to get it, and he'd just put on a spurt and just knit the ball around him. He's the most peculiar. Most peculiar way. He looked as though he'd put the ball just that much too forward, and the other fellow used to think he'd got it, and he'd put on a spurt and just whip it round.
Yeah,
him.
there's some good halfbacks in
And then,
the long
because
period.
there was Snedden, yes. I'm just going to go back further than him.
Arthur Horsfield.
There was,
King Arthur, he played centre forward and also played centre half, didn't he?
Yeah, Horsfield. He was a good player.
I was just thinking, there was Alec Hurd.
He died last month, didn't he?
Yes.
He was a trainer.
Very recently died.
He
lived
became
in
a
Blackheath.
trainer, that's right.
And
Alec
Purdy.
Purdy, yeah.
He's going back a bit.
Yeah.
Do you remember Willie Patterson?
Can't remember
Patterson, no.
Do you remember George Biswell?
Yes, Biswell,
Yeah.
just remember Biswell. Yeah.
Biswell, he was a nice inside forward.
Yeah.
Then they had good centre half, Pugsley, Oaks.
I had the bloke I was trying to think of, Pugsley.
Jack Pugsley. yes.
Jack Pugsley, he was a good.
He was Welsh captain, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he played for Wales a lot.
Yeah.
Pugsley.
Because George Green didn't know him. I
And
suppose.
then they had Smith, centre half chap who went to Portsmouth as manager.
George Smith,
George
yes.
Smith.
Yeah.
Big
Of
tall,
course,
came out of the army.
the flamboyant, the bloke was always getting into trouble. He was with them, wasn't he? Malcolm Allison. But do you remember Haydock? He was a good centre half. Frank Haydock.
Frank Haydock.
You remember so many players over the years, you can't fit them into the
No,
respective
you
periods,
can't.
can you? Yeah, there's
Rest
so
of the
many.
team, no, you remember the names, but you can't fit
Yeah.
them in as a complete half-back line or a...
No.
But, my son was telling me in the programme recently they had Afton's best Charlton team. I don't know if
Best
it's
of
No,
all time.
no, I'll tell you what they
All
did.
time.
It was Peacock when he had his testimonial. Yeah, Peacock. He advertised in the programme for entries for Charlton's best team over the 10-year period that Peacock played for Charlton.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I was the one who got the runner-up in the competition.
Did you?
Yeah, they've still got the programme at home now, yeah.
And this is quite recently.
Well,
Afton put a team
I
in
don't
the,
know,
And he
maybe one
put-
after Upton.
he put a had left back. I know he started off my son over the phone. We didn't finish off the side, but he put Huey as the best
Oh, yeah.
left back. I said, I don't know. There's some other good ones. It was old Frank Locke.
Frank
He
Locke.
wanted some beating. He was a lovely back.
Jimmy Oaks too, really, although he was getting on.
Peter Shreve.
No, Jimmy Oakes was another one.
Peter Shreve.
Yes.
The other left back. Before that it was George Smith, the dark. Not George Smith, what was his name? The dark.
Norman.
Norman Smith.
Yes. Oh, they catch you. Yeah. It's difficult to pick an all-time best out of all the players you see.
Have you ever tried to work out your all-time favourite team? Of all the players you can
I've often
remember?
thought about it, and then after doing it, I've changed my mind. And, oh no, that was so-and-so.
You could have a first 11 down to a 10th 11, could you?
Yeah, it's been so many, hasn't it?
Yes.
Good players. But the only one that I would be, well, there are two players that I would put in the all-time great, and one must be Sam Bartram, and the other one was Derek Hales.
Yeah.
I think Hales was one of the best goal scorers they've ever had. I don't know about the others, to be honest.
Well,
Been
you'd
so
have to
many.
put-
Then there was a good one, Cyril Pearce. Remember Cyril Pearce?
Oh,
You'd have
yes.
to put players like Welsh and
Done Welsh.
Like
Hollis.
What can you do?
Stuart Leary.
Yes.
Now, Stuart Leary was a footballer.
Brilliant.
Beautiful. He used to stroke the ball, and I mean, look, he made Johnny Summers. Johnny Summers was good with Fulham and Millwall, but never reached the heights they did with Charlton. And I maintain that was because poor old Johnny Summers, all due respect to him, is gone now. He couldn't control a ball. I mean, the ball come out from a free kick. He could, but he had the ball pushed in front of as Leary did, and he wanted some shaking off it then.
Oh, you couldn't get him off.
He knew where the goal was. He was
Remember
either
that
on
was one
target.
match?
Yes, I know. I got
Were you
that.
there?
No, I wasn't, unfortunately.
Match of a lifetime.
I forget why I couldn't go, but I didn't send. My eldest son went with his cousin, and who was a good bit older. He wasn't very old at the time, my son, and I had strict instructions that he was to not get out of his cousin's sight and to do what he wanted to do, sort of. And he was in charge. And of course, when they were losing 5-1, he decided he'd come home.
Well, we all felt like it. I thought at that time, we thought it was finished.
Believe it when you heard the result.
He couldn't believe when they got home and they'd won
It was
7-6.
the match of a lifetime.
And as I said to him, glory be you, Mr. Matzer. He said, well, you told me I was to follow Christopher. I wasn't to do anything. If he wanted to come home, you have to come home. I said, yeah, but...
Every time someone's had a shot at goal, he scored.
Yeah.
It was
I've got-
amazing.
I'm giving it to my son, grandson now. I had the programme of that match.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I suppose the programmes I had were both. I had the Derby County Cup final
I
one.
haven't got that one. I've got the Burnley Cup final.
Have you
one.
got any left at home now?
No, not
The
now.
old ones.
No, so I go, what, internationals I've been to, I gave to my grandson. I thought, well, of course his father, when he saw him, said, "You don't realise these are worth some money." He said, particularly that Huddersfield programme. I thought, oh, this is something for him to keep. He heard me talk a lot about the match when they won 17. Because that was the. I'm glad that they got into the first division again, because my grandson was sick and tired of hearing me talk about the days when they're in the first division.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, he couldn't believe it now. I said, I saw them I've beaten Liverpool 6-0. I said, and beaten Aston Villa 5-0.
Yeah.
And now it looks like Charlton and Millwall might be playing each other in the first division.
Hey?
Now it looks like Charlton and Millwall might be playing each other in the first division. I mean,
they've always been a bogey side at Charlton, haven't they, Millwall?
Yeah.
Except the year they went up, they beat them at home and away, Charlton. I was pleased as punch about that.
whereabouts in the ground did you used to stand, John?
And I used to stand level with the penalty area, up on the
Big Bank.
on the big bank, just up above the footpath roundabout.
Oh, I know. Yes, the yes, the
Yeah.
half. Oh, yes.
I used to come in from the because those days I lived in Greenwich. I used to come
Floyd
down
Road.
Floyd Road, in that end, around the back, right round the back of the goal, stand on the opposite
Yes.
side where they used to have a little enclosure, you know, opposite the enclosure.
Oh, I know. Yes, yes. Opposite.
So they used to have the roller and all that. They used to run that out.
Yeah, I used to stand
Yes,
just
I
about
know.
there. Always used to have a big heavy roller stuck in it. Other Ravens there.
That's right. Yeah. Happy days.
And would you always see the same people around you every week?
Yes, no,
Yeah, used to. Yeah.
there was a
Yeah.
couple of old dears who used to stand quite near us. You wouldn't believe they were going to football match. They looked like they were going out to the afternoon tea with the vicar.
Oh, yeah.
I did understand. And I know my brother-in-law among us, the whole family, that's all been football mad. And he was greatly intrigued. He said, "Look at those two old dears out there." And all of a sudden, I didn't use bad language, but who was the referee? Burtonshaw. You rat Burtonshaw, they called it out. You rat Burtonshaw one day, because he wouldn't give a decision Charlton's way. And the most unlikely women to see
Yeah.
at the football match, I know. They really were.
Yes, they're all kind.
How did they travel to the ground? Did you go on the trams?
Eh?
How did they travel to the ground?
We used to walk out to live near Blackwall Lane.
Did you? Did you? I
Yeah.
can't yeah. Blackwall Lane now.
Did you? Out to the, in Column Street.
Oh, I know, yeah.
You always walked down there. You didn't have a ride.
Well,
bus.
you couldn't go on a bus or a tram in those days.
You had to queue up for hours, didn't you? If you lived this end, the trams and the buses would be full up before they got, and they didn't stop, did they? Just
Oh no, from Woolwich.
ding
it
the
was-
old bell, and
yeah.
the tram goes straight by,
Yeah.
full up. And if you wanted, when you came out,
Oh, I mean, nobody went out shopping Saturday afternoon.
if you came out,
Woolwich, they
you
wouldn't
had
get the
to
Woolwich.
walk about 3 or 4 bus stops in the opposite direction to which you wanted to go before you could get a bus.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you was at the end of enormous great queues. But the quickest way was to walk. Yeah, you couldn't get a bus unless you went very, very early. But I didn't like staying in too long, waiting for the match to start. I was too impatient. I wanted to get
No.
home.
I think because later on I moved down, after the war, I moved, because there was no distance at all then, from West Coombe Hill.
Oh, did you?
But I didn't go to very many away. I might have gone at Christmas time, but to say, one I couldn't afford, but to say, you to get a good game with the reserves in those
You did.
days.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Absolutely.
I've been down Charlton when they play a reserve match, and for the opposition, like a team like Tottenham or the Arsenal, I've seen about 8 or 9 internationals
Yeah.
playing in the reserve team for Tottenham.
I was just going to say,
Unbelievable.
there'd be about 1,500 down there and play
That's right.
play Arsenal, because it was, their team was when they were in
They were good enough
good enough for a lot of first
to be in
division
the
teams,
second
first
division on their
first
own.
team.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, very straight.
What about the wartime football? Did you see much of that?
No, I was away. I didn't in the forces. I didn't see much of that. I did towards the end. That's why I saw them play Brentford in the year they won the cup. I saw them play up there when they won 3-1, and I saw the cup semi-final and the final.
The wartime cup or the post-war?
No, the first Derby cup final, 1946, yeah.
It's a pity you missed the winner though, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, the sun was just born.
Yeah.
I remember listening to that. I remember that because in those days you used to get something maternity or something when you had off the
That's right. You used to get
off the insurance people.
Yes.
And he came on this afternoon and I've listened to the cup final with Charlton playing. Oh,
God.
he was off. He was one. He was a nice old fella, but he was a bit deaf. And gory, because when Charlton scored, I nearly went mad. And he said, "What's that? What's that?" I said, "Oh." And I know. I said, "I'll put him down for some silly amount." I said, "I'm listening to the cup final." He's on for some insurance block. They're not the best of my favourite people at the best of times. Insurance people that come in the afternoon with John were playing in the cup final.
Yeah, a bit much that was.
It's just not on, is it?
Of course, there was no television. It wasn't on television, was
No.
it? Anything like that. It was just on the radio.
And were you going down most weeks up until they left the valley?
No, I had to pack up because I found the distance. See, where I lived at Elton, it was difficult to get to Charlton from there. It meant the nearest I could get to was get to 108 as the bus was then, down to the bottom of West Groom Hill and walking, and I was getting on a bit then, and I had to find a bit too much. The walk all the way was a good half an hour, 40 minutes walk.
Oh yeah, long way.
Because we had to that was cut into the back way, down the Home Fair.
Yeah.
And over around the back of the cemetery, the Shooters Hill Cemetery.
Yes.
Out in the Shooters Hill Road, down Home Fair, down to. I found that they had to be all in time I got back.
Especially if they lost.
Yeah.
It was so bad if they won.
I know, I went down there 1-2, I was soaked to the skin when I played Cardiff. They drew one each.
Was it worth it after all?
No.
Do you remember them before they went to the Valley then? When they played in Pound Park, wasn't it? Or something?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh,
no.
I wondered.
Was your grandfather, he was a Lord Charlton fan, was he?
Oh yes, he used to go out about. We'd have to leave home about 1 o'clock because, but that was understandable because some of the matches, there was before floodlight, of course, and you had to kick off 2:15 when they got really dark, and he'd leave home about 1 o'clock. Mind you, he was very prejudiced. He could never see anything much on the other side. He was always, and he had his own place, and won't be tired if anybody was to stand there. No, mind you,
That's right, his own positions. That's true.
I doubt whether ever they could because he used to get there so early.
That's right. He used to have a band, didn't they? The Royal Artillery.
That's right.
Yeah,
He used to play that post-horn gallop.
Yeah. Forget his name, Major somebody.
Geary.
Geary.
Oh, Geary.
Look
That's
fella,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That
He was
probably
good,
got
wasn't he?
But
Yeah, he used to play regular down there, didn't
the only trouble with Charlton was they always had money problems.
Yeah,
They had some
rich,
wonderful
but-
players.
Yeah, that's
If only they
right.
could have got
That's
a
a
Die
solid
Astley.
Yeah.
Yes,
Players
Starr.
had
He
to-
was a lovely
Yeah,
player.
well,
Les de Bolter,
Yeah.
all had to go.
They had to-
Sailor Brown.
yeah.
Sailor Brown.
I don't know, who was, Campbell was quite a good player they got rid of, the inside forward.
Oh yes.
They had to get rid of him because he
think it was Aston Villa. Yeah.
Was
Or
it
Birmingham.
Aston
Was it?
Villa?
Birmingham. No, Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah.
Birmingham, that's right. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? And Glover, Len Glover.
Len
Glover,
Glover,
he was a good one, wasn't he?
Another
And then, of course, in recent years, is Walsh.
Paul Walsh.
Yeah.
Walsh.
Yeah.
But there again, I don't think that's so much that they wanted to get rid of him. He wanted first division football,
That's right.
didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't turn out too well when he left there, did he? Got in trouble with the police and
Yeah, he
things,
did.
as
Yeah,
well.
he was.
Yeah, he seemed a nice sort of lad when he was down
Yeah.
here.
That's right.
Roy Matthews, what happened to Matthews? What happened to
That's
him?
right.
He was
Oh,
good. He
good.
scored a lot of goals, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he got out to get rid of some good players
Yeah.
because he couldn't afford to.
As soon as it's been something that's dogged them all the way through the sort of club history, and they always, at some point, you know, every few years, the crunch comes. And so far, I mean, I suppose they fought it off each time.
That's right.
I mean, back it was 84, 85, they came within about 10 minutes being made bankrupt, didn't they?
Never forget that. kid.
Came
Yeah.
very, very
Oh,
close.
goodness me, to watch the news
Sweating
every
on
night
that
and that.
afternoon.
Mm.
Still working then.
Mind you, what's it, Glickstein turned very
He did.
To
It's
my
very
mind,
strange. I
very
can never
strange,
understand
ridiculous
this
sort of
thing
thing,
because I mean, it was his uncle, wasn't it? Who came from which was then the Clacton
And his
Orient,
father.
Yeah.
and they came to Charlton.
Mm.
The two brothers, weren't they? That was Glickstein's uncle.
Yeah.
Charlie
They
Rebel
were
said
timber merchants.
Yeah. Wasn't one his father?
And possibly
his
it was.
father and his uncle.
I think it
Yeah,
was his
they
father.
were brothers. They were two
Right,
brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two brothers.
And Michael's the son, and
And
Charlie
they-
Rebel said that
they got
Michael was always a
Charlie out of
nasty piece of
trouble.
work.
They put
Well,
a lot of
even when
money
he was a
into
kid.
the club, and
Oh,
Right.
did they?
Yeah.
Lot to thank, everything to thank him for.
They put a hell of a lot of money into the club and saved him at that period. And then Glickstein came along, his son, and he took over. And he was the youngest ever representative on the football board, league board, wasn't
Committee,
he? So,
wasn't it?
committee.
Yeah.
So he must have been interested in football, otherwise he would have never got on that committee. And yet when they come to this trouble about selling the ground, he wanted to build,
Very nasty.
he turned
But
very
it seems
nasty against football.
very anti-Charlton. I mean, where he's supposed
Yeah.
to
Strange.
been the manager, their chairman.
Of course, didn't they chuck him off the board or something? He wasn't chairman.
Because that Hullier, didn't
Hullier
they?
cut it on.
Yeah,
Hullier.
now he's been in trouble since. Now
yes.
he's been in the.
Yeah, he's a proper crook.
Yeah, he turned out.
Well, Glickstein has inspired a lot of hatred directed against him.
Oh,
since the last
yes.
years. I mean, when I was up at the ground on Sunday, underneath the grandstand on one of the walls, one of the entrances, written big red letters in Glickstein, you deserve to be hung for what you have done to this club. For 4 generations my family has come here.
Oh yeah.
Now it's no longer, you know, it's
Yeah.
very...
Because I went down and I spoke to Lenny Lawrence. He was just coming out of the car park, and when they were closing up, I think it was
Oh,
the
yeah.
week after they played their last match, and I spoke to him about it. He said you can only blame one person. He said that's Glickstein. He said we just can't change his mind.
Well, they're well shot then now. I mean,
Otherwise,
they're
it wasn't
completely
for
shot.
him. He said we would stay here where we are.
Yeah.
See, now finally he sold the ground anyway to the other people. Why didn't he do it in the first place? And then Charlton wouldn't have had all this bother.
Mm.
I mean, you know, we all
I
know.
mean, for a chap whose parents and his uncle relations
Yeah.
They saved the club, didn't
years
they?
and years,
Yeah,
so he'd
that's
have,
right. Yeah.
had some sort of emotional,
Some sort of feeling for it,
feeling,
wouldn't you?
he seemed to have.
Yes, that's what I couldn't understand. He seemed to turn right against the
Yeah,
club.
yeah, yeah.
Right against it.
But
I mean, up to then he was keen, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Keen,
But I mean, people are moaning, you know, about moving to suburbs, but I believe, I mean, you've got to look at it, they saved the club,
They
really,
did,
didn't
yes,
they?
they did.
They kept
Yeah,
it
they
going.
did.
I mean, this bloke Fry, they all moan at him for moving to
Yeah,
suburbs,
that's right. But he
but it
saved
seemed they had no option,
Mm.
and they kept the club going.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what
Didn't they?
Lawrence has said,
It
yeah.
wasn't ideal, but it you know,
I
it
mean,
worked
the
its
club
way.
Charlton Athletics still there, and it's first division football there as well. I mean,
That's right, yeah, that was a miracle. I don't think even Lenny Lawrence expected to get promotion.
After all that.
Before last. I don't
Mind
I
they
thought he
did,
was,
they,
but-
they did remarkably well
Wonderful.
because they had all that trouble behind
That's
the
right.
background.
Yeah.
What do you the year before when they were in the going broke almost they kept on the field, they could get some very good results, didn't
Oh,
they?
yes, they did. Yes,
And
it's
then-
remarkable. He's a remarkable man, that's Lawrence. I've got to give him credit, haven't you? You know.
Well, I do hope they don't go down.
Oh, I don't think they will. I really
They haven't
don't
played.
think-
When's that Spurs game on? I was
Next
today.
Monday.
I was
Next Monday,
Next
12
next
o'clock.
12
Monday.
o'clock.
12 o'clock.
Well, I
On
don't
Bank
know.
Holiday Monday.
Yeah.
It's a bank holiday. Yeah, I'd probably go over to that one.
Well,
Yeah.
it was you telling me, John, wasn't it? They could have had 10 against Newcastle on Saturday.
Yeah.
Go on.
My son, when they said they played some lovely stuff
Yeah.
on Saturday.
They
Beautiful.
were 2 up in about 15 minutes, weren't they?
Yeah,
20 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah,
He said they killed the game as a spectacle because
they were on top.
they were on top and getting those 2 goals so early. He
Yeah.
said they played some really lovely stuff. He said it'd be criminals the team after they played on Saturday to go down.
Yeah, well, I say that.
What are they? 6 wins in 8 games or something ridiculous?
And they kept a
Uh,
clean sheet.
yeah, they've got 5 clean sheets in the
Yeah,
last 7 or something like that. Yeah,
I mean,
it's
really-
marvellous.
Well, why couldn't they do this earlier in the season?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just come
Yeah,
good.
they've been top
You
league.
reckon somebody said it was since Flanagan became coach, wasn't it?
Well, the first few games at Flanagan, they did
Is
sort of
he-
catch
he is
on, but
back there, is
yes,
he?
he's
coach, yeah.
coach. The other chap, when he went as manager at Newport, and Newport finished here going out of the league, and they haven't well behind.
Oh, blimey, yes, poor old
You've got to, because the team top of the Vauxhall.
Yeah, they're talking about
Yeah,
Lincoln.
it goes down.
Well, the Lincoln probably won't make it now.
Get promoted, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's automatic, isn't it now?
Mm.
They said they even fancy the players, you know, they got their tails up and they even fancy their chances at Everton, you see.
Yeah, that's
Well, it
right.
could be. It could be
Could be,
a surprise
because,
there Saturday.
Yeah, Everton's goalkeeper apparently saved them against Oxford.
Yes.
In the last match,
Yeah,
finished
they
up
saved
1
them.
each, and their goalkeeper had far more
I mean,
more work to do than Oxford's goalkeeper.
Oh,
So Everton could be
Nick-
going a little bit off the boil.
other teams
So
at the moment,
informed.
because I think the most informed, those down at the bottom, they're getting the better results than any of the others.
They're probably getting better results than mid-table
They are,
teams
yeah,
as
that's
well.
Yeah.
Even sort of,
It's lucky.
yeah, they're top of the table form at the moment. 'Cause I mean,
Mm.
okay, a lot of their results have been against lower placed clubs, and the other lower placed
Team
clubs have
they-
been doing
they-
worse. But
They're the
Yeah.
team they used to step up against at one
That's
time.
right, yeah.
it was only a few weeks ago they were in bottom position.
That's right.
Yeah.
Weeks
Oh,
ago.
they-
With-
they've
they
done
played
remarkably
more
well.
games
They
than
got
everyone
us-
else.
Get off the
got
bottom.
us further.
Yeah,
The other
that's
teams
right,
had
right
games in
there.
hand.
Because they went.
Yeah.
How many games did they go without a win?
Oh.
Luton Town was their
It was
first
a
win,
long-
wasn't it?
Long run, wasn't it?
Yeah, long with they had a couple of draws and.
But they clicked at just at the right time, it seems now.
Because earlier in the season, Portsmouth were right at the top of the table. Now look at them.
Yeah, yeah. But I saw them on beach Portsmouth on Boxing Day, and I thought Charlton were a bit lucky to win that at Pompey.
Mm.
They were lucky, but wow, that's football.
So who have they got left to play? They've got Spurs at home. That's the
Spurs.
only home match, isn't it?
Everton
Chelsea.
away
Chelsea
and
away.
Chelsea away.
Everton Saturday, then Spurs, then Chelsea away.
If they
And
can
that's
get-
it. 3 matches.
If they can get 3 or 4 points out of that, they might even lift out of the playoffs spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to avoid the playoffs as well. Yes, I think
Oh,
so.
I like to avoid the playoffs. but
Supremely
they-
confident.
That means
And they'll beat
they've
Chelsea,
got,
I reckon.
Because
they've got
they'd
Bradford's-
be very unlucky if they get beaten in the playoffs and go down after what they.
I don't think
Oh,
that's,
if they did,
I don't think
yes.
that's fair, quite honestly.
No,
No,
I have to
don't.
say,
Because you could be in
it'd
the
be more
playoff.
fair to play off a team in the first division,
Mm.
say, perhaps a team above them.
Because they could be
but
playing
they
off
play-
against a team who was
I
fifth
mean,
in the
but look,
second
last
division.
year
Oh, yes.
Leeds were about 6th
Yeah.
in the second division. It'd have been most unfair, and they'd have got promotion.
It's unfortunate for Charlton because
I think the
first
old
year,
deal.
like last year, they were involved in it. That was the first year they had this business, and now this happened again this year. And Charlton
I think
This
the
will be
old-
the
the
last
old-
year, though, would it?
The old clear cut, straight up, straight down business is a lot fairer
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
long run. Otherwise you're hinging on just one result, which
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily reflect the sort of performance
It's a
over the
peculiar
season.
way. You know, because they're doing it to reduce the first division by 2, isn't it?
So they're down to 21 this season. They're going down to 20 this year. Next
That's
season.
right. Yeah. So presumably this will be the last of the
Mm.
playoff business.
Mm.
But
What else? I missed my list back.
It's only quarter to 11, John.
Oh,
For weeks we've been trying to remember, this is fairly recent, this, I keep asking, Charlton had two players come over from Holland, one in Dutch,
Yeah.
and we've been trying to think of their names. They sent them back. You know, one was a winger, and
They
the other
came
one
over
was a
together.
centre forward. They had flags flying.
Percy,
out there,
Percy
and
remember,
music
then
and-
forgot again.
Oh, yeah.
Can you remember their names? I can see the players now, but I can't remember their names. Two Dutch
Did
players.
they come from the same Dutch club?
Possibly.
Now, did they actually come?
Oh yeah, they played 2 or 3 matches. Well, one chap played several
that's
games
right, that's right.
in the
That's right.
reserves.
That's right.
And the
They
winger,
found it out.
a chap, his name began with M. I'm certain it was an M. He played in the reserve team, and he played about twice in the first team. But the centre forward, a very thick set bloke, he was international, and he sort of burly built fellow with slightly bowed legs. Now he played several times, well at least 4 or 5 times in the Charlton first team, and he was fairly good. And then all of a sudden they disappeared, they went back to, and nobody, and I can't find any record in the any of the papers or programs of this their names.
I'll tell you what I'll do for next week. I'll find out Colin Cameron.
Yeah,
Yes, he'll
get
go.
the names.
Yes, he'll go.
Remember
Because there was-
Jepson?
Oh, I remember Hans Jepson. Yes, he was
Oh,
good.
Jefferson, he come over from Sweden.
Yeah. Oh,
He
yes.
saved them. That
He did save that
Yeah.
in his goals.
Only time I've seen a goalkeeper throw the ball behind for a corner. Do you remember the Macintosh at Sheffield Wednesday? Because he was a great one. I mean, he only had one thought, Jepson, that was goal. I mean, anybody got in his way, it was just too bad. And they had, because nowadays they could go for the goalkeeper. He'd gone for Macintosh 2 or 3 times, and he saved the ball. He was on his knees, and he saw Jepson coming through and threw the ball over his shoulder for a corner. Do you remember that? God.
Quite believe it, because Jepson was a fierce.
Oh, he was a
That
fierce
chap
man.
who was fierce like that, and a bit fun. I mean, Irish chap. What's his name? Gould. J.
Oh, James
Gould,
Gould.
Jimmy Gould,
Jimmy
yes.
Gould. Lazy little mite, really. He scored the goals, but
Yeah, rough.
he never. They were always on to him about coming back. He would never come back and help the defence. He was an inside forward, but he never came. He would always be hanging up.
To score goals, though.
He used to score goals,
He
yeah.
used to go for the goals and goalkeeper. They were a bit frightened of
A
him.
bit
but,
crude.
He was very crude. Yeah.
And there was some trouble with him, wasn't there? He
Yeah,
got
a bit
into
of trouble.
Oh
Very
yes,
well.
he got well into trouble,
He
didn't
went
he?
Fixing
another
matches
club
or something like that.
Something.
Went to
He went
Everton,
to
I
another club.
Everton
broke
he
his-
went to,
broke
yeah.
his leg or something, I think.
Oh,
Was that before he left Charlton that he got into
But
trouble?
one that,
No, after.
No, after.
Afterwards. Yeah, there was some suggestion.
but when
throwing
you're saying,
matches or something.
when you're saying, who was it reckon that Derek Hale's the best centre forward? I would put Charlie Vaughan.
Oh, Charlie,
Oh,
yeah, different
Don
different
Welsh.
types of players. Yeah. They've had
Oh,
so
yeah,
many.
Don Walsh was
Oh,
it.
well, probably more recently.
Yes. Oh, well, I mean, Leary played centre forward. didn't he?
Leary
You
played.
know,
They've had some good ones,
They've had some good ones.
but
The goal instinct poaching.
I don't know if he get on today because Charlie Vaughan, because there'd been no kissing or hugging with him. When he put the ball in there, he just walked away and said, well, that's what I'm a job, that's
Yeah.
what I'm out here for. It was no animation at all about him, was it? He's got some lovely goals. I remember standing like that this day behind the God, I don't know why I was standing behind the guy in what we called the shed. You know, they were kicking into the shed, and he got the ball. It was the day he was married.
That's
I
right.
forget who. I think Jones.
He got married the
Birmingham.
same morning he played the
Yeah,
match, didn't
and he got a couple of goals in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And he got this ball, and all he could see was Jones between him and the goal. And the next minute or so, he left Jones standing, and
he? Yeah, he was.
and the ball was in the back of the net.
Yeah, he was quite a good player.
That's another position they've always been good at, centre forward. They've always had good centre
But they've
forward.
had a lot of them, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've had a lot of centre forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was Horsfield.
Yes,
Horsfield,
Horsfield. I mean,
yeah.
he was good, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Going right back.
Whitlow. Players like Whitlow, Astley, and
Astley.
Lennox.
Pierce.
Lennox, Wilson Lennox. Remember he got 5 goals when they won at Exeter.
Oh yes, yes. Lennox.
Then goes Yardley,
Yardley.
That's right, Jimmy
Yardley.
Jimmy Yardley. He played alongside Cyril Pierce.
Still Pierce.
Still
I know
Pierce
my-
was another good one.
My brother-in-law was down there one day when Pierce was through and had a good opportunity. He said, "Shoot Pierce." I said, "Why shoot Pierce? Why not shoot the bloody lot of them?"
Poor old Pierce, he broke his leg.
Broke his leg.
Yeah.
Never as good after that.
No.
Tadman was another centre forward.
Yes,
Tadman, yes.
Yeah, he was good. Wasn't
Remember
There were two Tadmans, weren't there?
he? Yeah,
Yeah,
Morris,
George and Morris.
George and Morris.
George
was the
was
younger
the-
Were
brother.
they brothers?
There was
Yeah,
two
they were
Tadmans,
brothers.
Two
Yeah.
Bolters, Leslie Bolter and what was the other
Oh,
one?
was there? I
Two
didn't know there were two
Bolters.
Walters. I know
Yeah.
Leslie Bolter.
Yeah, Leslie Bolter.
There was two
Oh.
from Marnis too, weren't there?
Yes, two from Arnis, yes. But the
But-
younger brothers never seemed to make it,
No,
did
he got a, he
they? Morris
played
Tadman
in.
didn't make it, really.
No,
Brother George. Oh, well,
They had some brothers, two Crokers, they had.
he had two
that's
brokers.
right, yeah.
One of them finished up as the,
Secretary.
Secretary.
Yeah.
I think he's finishing up this year, it's his last year.
Yeah,
Is he?
Yes. Yeah.
They do so long.
He's been secretary for quite a while though.
He has, yeah. He's
Remember back, when they do the draw for the cup rounds on the
That's
telly,
right,
you know,
that's
it's
right.
always him there putting the ball out.
Yeah, but he never made it great as a player, really, did he? It was
No.
Peter
No.
Croker, wasn't
Peter
it?
No, Peter was a
Peter
lot.
was a
Very
much
good
better
back,
player than,
much better
Yeah.
back.
Mm.
Then there was Ellis at the back. Do you remember Ellis? He was the
Yes.
last back.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ellis.
he
Sid
went
Ellis.
to the Palace, didn't he?
Did he?
Did he? Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
They had another player went to the Palace as well. Was he a fullback? Was his name Sawyer or Sawyer or Sawyer?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's
Sewell.
Sewell.
Oh,
Sewell.
Sewell,
Yes.
yes.
How's that
He
spelled?
done well at the Palace.
S-E-W.
S-E-W-E-L-L.
Yeah.
Sewell.
He done
He was-
well
he was
at
good.
the Palace.
Yeah.
Sewell.
They're all good, aren't they? All these players you're remembering are good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Can't remember any bad
Come on,
ones.
let's just remember some bad players. Come on.
Oh,
Some
who's
players
bad,
you used to
mate?
go down there on a Saturday afternoon and think, oh God, he's not
Polly
playing again.
Kirsten, they had to take their mic out of him in the reserves. and
Polly
that.
Kirsten, he never, South African, the only South African that didn't last very long.
I mean, Gordon Hurst, some people didn't like him, but he was
Oh, he was-
fast.
oh,
he
he
was
was
very fast.
Yeah,
It was
he was.
Wilkinson.
Yeah, Monty Wilkinson.
Yes, he was fast, wasn't he? Especially
I remember him
for those
feeding shot in the back of the net and all entangled and scoring the last goal against Manchester United when they beat Manchester United 7-2.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the day when they beat Middlesbrough 8-2?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
That's when
oh,
Mannion
yes.
was playing.
Yeah.
They were 2-1 up only at half time. Mannion one of us said he couldn't make out what hit them second half.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had a few games like that.
Yeah.
I see him beat when Southampton were playing well. They come down Charlton and Charlton beat them 6-0, didn't they? Down here.
Yeah.
That match. Southampton.
I
Didn't see that, right? No, that was an evening match.
Because they were three good inside forwards was Leary, Olin and
Yeah, Sid O'Reilly.
Famani.
Yes.
So how many South Africans were there playing in a team at any one time?
Well, they had
In this
7
period of-
altogether, didn't they? Was it 5?
I think it
wasn't
was, I think it
There
was
was
7.
Huey.
They changed from the goalkeeper. They had
Humphrey
Humphrey
Bogart.
Utenboga.
Humphrey Bogart, everyone called him.
Utenboga.
He's a good goalkeeper, isn't he?
Yeah.
And they had the
Huey,
Huey. And
Chamberlain,
then they had Chamberlain, the half
Forbes.
Forbes.
Dudley Forbes.
Tottenham,
Oh, yes, Tottenham. I forgot
Ryan
about him.
Tottenham,
Tottenham.
From Arnie.
Vermani.
Olin.
Olin,
Sid O'Lin.
Leary.
Polly Kirsten.
Leary.
Kirsten.
You could have had 6 or 7 in any one team.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I suppose they must have had. Although Humphrey Bogart.
I think the
didn't
most
get
they had playing at one time was 5.
5, was it, at one time? Yeah.
That was a record.
Yeah.
Fair number though, isn't it?
Yeah, I wonder why they
There's
don't
only
get
11
them
in a
now.
team.
Why don't they go to South Africa now? There must be players like that now, surely.
Yeah, but is it something to do
Oh,
with
let's do
this,
the
Oh,
apartheid.
They
yeah,
would have a lot of
yeah.
trouble, wouldn't they?
Oh,
Trying to
yeah.
bring-
They wouldn't
trying to
play
bring-
with the others,
No,
they
that's
would
right.
play with blacks or
Yeah.
and play with blacks or something like that.
I mean, back in the days when Old brought them over, I mean, that wasn't
Yeah.
really thought of. They didn't
No.
enter into anyone's mind the
No.
causes of apartheid.
No, he was the first one to think of it, wasn't he?
I mean, he certainly found a good sort of untapped source. He brought them over.
Yeah.
I mean,
But there was-
were there many others playing in the league for other teams?
Well,
no,
there
Durant.
was another one that
Wolves.
Charlton had, but they signed him from Cliff Durant. Do you remember him?
from
Oh, that's
Wolves,
right.
didn't they?
Yeah, they signed him from, was it
You're
Wolves?
Wolves, wasn't it?
That's right.
He played Wolves,
Winger.
very dark, very
Yes,
chunky
thick,
sort of.
thick
I remember
fella.
Cliff Durant saved them from
Yeah.
going down to the third division.
Durant.
No, saved them from going down into the second. And they were playing Southampton down here. And I remember because Charlton had to win to stay up. And it was, I think it was the last match of the season, probably was. And they had to win, and it was 1-1. And my son and I, the minutes were ticking away. It was getting a minute to go. Come on, they're not going to do it. And we started to walk away. And we got up to the corner, and Charlton had another attack going. We just stood at the top just to have a look. And I can remember it now. Kinsey came down and backheeled it, took it to the goal line, and then backheeled it. And Durant got the ball and took a couple of steps, and he curled it round all the Southampton defenders, and it bounced once and hit the post and went in, and they won 2-1 and saved their way. That was when
Who
Frank
was it
Hill
that played?
was the manager.
What was it, Bolton?
Southampton.
Southampton.
Yeah.
I remember once they played Bolton.
And we never forgot that, and so every time when Charlton we were down there and Charlton were losing near the end, we said, well, let's start walking off the corner, it might work again. They might score. Yeah.
Who did you used to go down to the matches with, John?
Me? Who did I go with?
Who did you used to go down with? Was it friends or?
A cousin of mine, he lived at Tunbridge now, still followed. He came up last year when we went to Wembley. Decided to go with a cousin of mine.
Did you have any sort of pre-match or post-match rituals that you would go through every?
No,
Pop in a pub or
no, not in those days.
have a particular supper or tea when you got home?
No, because things were, as I say, things weren't so well off in those days. I mean,
That's right,
football match only cost you a shilling and a programme tuppence, one and tuppence. You didn't ride there, you walked because we were that distance, plus the fact that it was different getting onto transport.
Yeah.
Match ball rental.
And as I say, it didn't seem to take the time. I mean, now playing over at Selhurst, I don't go myself, but my son says it really takes us an afternoon or good afternoon, evening out time. You've got to start thinking about going to about 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's about 7 o'clock before you get back
And
again.
also, I mean, if you're going down there to Selhurst, I mean, anyone who are taking public transport, going down there, buying a programme, buying a ticket to go on to the terrace, you're talking about spending the best part of £6.
Yeah,
Yes, right.
It's not cheap.
Well, luckily I can go over and it won't cost me pass. It won't. Well, all of us, I suppose, it won't cost us anything to get over there if we go over by bus,
Yeah.
which I would. But still, I mean,
No,
as you
my-
say, any ordinary support.
My son was saying that because now he's out of work and but when he to take his son, he can get any change out of a tenner.
That's
It's a lot of
right,
money
yeah.
for a football match.
It is a lot.
Oh no, my other son, he'd have done it Abbey Wood. He said it best part of £10, time he takes in his petrol and what have you, and getting into the ground and the programme and what.
That's right.
Programs are 80, aren't they?
Well, the last time
I'd say
I was 80 now, it was 60.
No, they're 80 now. I think
80.
programs over there. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. It's the same as everything. Like all these things used to be cheap. The cinema used to be very cheap.
Yes, I know.
So,
It's all relative, I
comparative to
suppose.
people's wages, but I mean now that's gone up. The football's gone up in all forms of entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
See, a reserve match was sixpence.
That's
Sixpence and a penny programme. I think.
Program, and you could go in the
Well, I mean,
grandstand
I
for
can
free.
remember.
Yeah.
The grandstand.
I can remember.
When you were asleep.
I can remember having a shilling. For a shilling, that in them days was 12 pence. 12 pence a shilling, right? So, remember 12. Now, I used to go to New Cross Empire and go up in the gallery, 4pence. I could buy an ice cream, 2pence, and 6pence. And I could buy 5 cigarettes. I did smoke then, but I only smoked for about a couple of months, and I packed up 5 cigarettes for tuppence plus weights, right?
Yeah.
So it's 4, 6, 8, and come out and go in the fish shop next door, which is still there now, called Bell's. Have a tuppenny and a penny, and have a penny change out of a ship. I can remember it.
It's a
Yeah,
whole-
it's
it's a whole
good.
life.
It's true. People laugh
and
about it. You know.
Fourpence it was to go in at
And
the
you could
gallery
buy
to see a good
suit, you know,
good
and that
show.
for a penny or
Good
something like
variety
that.
show.
But they laugh, but you could do. It's
You could buy an ice cream in there for tuppence.
Yeah.
You could buy 5 clouds weights in a little
That's
packet.
right, little packet,
tuppence.
5.
And how much have you been earning a week then?
11 and 9pence.
So it's not a great
No,
deal
no,
out of the
anyway.
good
That's when I've
wages.
about 15.
It's all relative.
Well, probably later now. I mean, that's what first job I had. I started work. I got 11 and 9pence a week. I remember that. The bravest down at that.
That was good, that was.
Did you live at Deptford
I only
then?
had 7 and 6 when I was
Did you live at Deptford
You
then?
were one of the rich.
I did live at Deptford recently. Yeah. I lived at Tanners Hill.
Oh, when you weren't a good war supporter then?
Well, that's where the story starts, because I had 3 brothers. I was the eldest, and my father worked in the Arsenal,
Yeah.
and he was a real hot Charlton supporter. And the club had only just started. He told me they went to a fish shop down at, that's called, what they called them, the Addicts, down at Charlton. And in the Arsenal at the time was a team called the Gunners, which was the Arsenal Football Club now.
Yeah.
And they played at Woolwich. And most of the people in the Arsenal, of course, supported the Gunners. But my father, he wanted to support his team that had just started up. They used to play at Mansfield Park somewhere and up at Catford. This was Charlton Football Club. They wouldn't probably started then in the Kent League. And he went and supported this club, you see. So when we were old enough to go to football, we all become Charlton supporters. you see.
Handed down, yeah.
And all the friends and all that around there, we were all supporters, and we always got the old, you know.
Got the birds.
And it's funny
Well,
enough,
that's sort of stuff, because I live quite near. Well, I mean, I live in Tanners Hill. I wasn't far to go down.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how we become.
You haven't got those photographs, have you? Yeah.
Which one? No, I'm going to be doing them Monday.
Oh,
Should be
good.
doing them.
Bring them next week.
Yeah, I'll have them down. And
I'm
I'll have,
anxious to see if my father's on one.
and I'll have those ones of the valley as well. Various
And one day
dressing rooms and
one day
yes,
board
yes,
rooms
one-
when I got
yeah.
into. But I found loads of papers as well.
Have you?
One day he became ill, so my mother and I said, well, if he never missed a game of Charlton. In fact, he worked, he sold programmes and went around with a ball. Do you know the ball half time?
Yeah.
Oh, the half-time ball.
With that.
The half-time
Changes,
scores,
He
yeah.
walked round the ground with that. And we said, well, if he is ill, he was in bed. If he doesn't go to football, we know he's ill. And that week he never went to football, and a couple of weeks after that he died.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a sort of support he was.
Yeah.
And
Never less.
he supported them from the time he started.
My goodness, he could have some stories to tell.
He would have some stories.
Yeah. Do you remember waiting outside the back of the stand at reserve matches
Oh,
for the
yeah,
first
for
team
first
result?
team result, yeah.
If they kicked off at the same time or
Yeah.
later than the reserve match, was to go outside the back and wait for them to fade through and get the result.
That's it.
And the commissioner come out and say, lost 2-0 or won 5-0 or something.
And occasionally they
The other
might
way.
have kicked off beforehand, and you could all tell
They
they'd
could
gone
get out.
because as they came out, although you're on the other part, as they turned round in front of the stand, and the cheering up.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if
right.
you were in another part of the ground, you had to wait. Obviously, they'd won.
One, yeah, because as the ball came, your father with the ball, as he came round. Yeah. I remember when they got promotion, or it must have been the 30s, early 30s, before their big rise, they promoted from the third to the second.
They went down again a couple of seasons later.
That's right. Well, when they went up first, I remember their last match, they had to win it. It was away to Walsall.
Warsaw, that's right.
I was down at the reserve match that day, and they come out with a bold Charlton 1-2-0. Yeah, she heard the roar, you know.
Yeah, Warsaw.
Yeah, and they got promotion. I remember my dad telling me, yeah, they've got to win today, he said.
I've been involved with Warsaw, and another time that I've been beaten them to stay up in
Yeah,
the second division.
that's right. Yeah.
Which division of
But-
Warsaw in now? Then?
Eh?
Which division? Third, are they?
Third.
Third, I think, yes.
Yeah, I
third.
think they're in the third now.
I got a book, son gave me Christmas. I haven't read it all, but it's very interesting. It's the 100 years of football.
Centenary.
Centenary, the FA Centenary, and it's what I find is interesting is all the leagues. You can see when Charlton first came into the Southern League, into the third division, and
It was third
third
division
division
south.
south,
Yeah.
and you can see how they've fared every year. Are up to date.
Would you bring that down with you next week, John?
Hey?
Would you bring that down with you next week?
I will, yes.
Because they had two third divisions, didn't they? North and South.
North and South, yes. And I've got another one, and I don't know, but it didn't convey that to me though. It did to my another cousin of mine, because all the fans are all football mad. He was not old enough to go into the forces, and he due to follow Charlton right through. Now that is a book again of all the teams.
Jack Rowling wrote that.
Have you seen
Wartime
it?
football.
All the teams and all the players that play for them during the wartime.
Yeah,
it'd be
wartime
interesting because
football.
they're very
Yeah. Have you seen that one?
Jack Rowland, the sports editor of the Sunday Telegraph, or something, wrote that, didn't
Oh,
he?
yeah.
And he researched all the matches,
Yeah,
and the wartime
yeah,
leagues,
that's right.
and everything.
And of course he was very interested in that, having been able to follow them.
Didn't they? It was stated
Yeah.
that Woolwich Arsenal.
Because the best team in those years,
Yeah.
it was all the shot, wasn't it? They had all the
All the
army instructors out there playing for them, all internationals.
Because Charlton appeared in 4 successive cup finals.
Yeah.
But wartime cup finals. Because
They missed out on one, didn't they? They weren't there 40. They weren't there 45. They they lost 43 to Arsenal, didn't they? Something like 7-1, and they won in 44 against Chelsea 3-1.
But then, I mean, they didn't know what their team was going to be from one week to another, did
No,
they? All the
no.
people had leave and who was where.
Because up to the war, the town had been out in the first. I don't think they finished lower than fourth, had they? Charlton, because they nearly won the championship the first year.
Runners
they went
up,
runners up.
in the
Manchester
first
City
league.
just
Yeah.
beat them.
That's right. Runners up.
Yeah, it was Manchester City, and I think it was Manchester United who was Charlton runners up when they got promoted the year before. Was it Manchester United?
I think yes. And for
They
the
won
Sunday
the league,
division,
Charlton
yes.
were runners up. They got promoted, and Charlton finished runners up to Manchester City in the first division.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Mm.
that was it.
How,
Marvellous
how
one.
many teams went up from the third division then? 'Cause there was
Two
two from each
Two up and two down.
from when there was third south and third north. Was it one? Was it two from
One,
each?
Oh, one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Just
Because
the
I
one.
remember
Just the champions.
when Charlton started in 1936, their big run, they went up for the South, and the champions of the third division North were Doncaster. And
Was it?
Charlton and Doncaster were the
Yeah,
managers.
two went up from when they up from each to third division, but two went down out the second division, didn't they?
That's right. Yeah, and they. I don't know how they
I don't know how
decided.
they would have done that. I mean,
How would they do that? One south and one north. If supposing they were both
Well,
south.
very often, somebody out of the third division south,
Oh,
who was
really?
up in the northern half of the country, would drop into the third
Oh, that's
division
right.
north.
They did a bit of a shuffle. To
I mean,
make-
say for
yeah.
example, Millwall and Charlton went down, but they'd probably put a team like Walsall in the third division north, and Charlton and Millwall would go in the
Yes.
third division
Yeah, that's right.
south.
They did a bit of a shuffle.
They had to do a bit
Yeah,
of
that's
shuffle
right.
if
The
they
idea of that was because the teams in them days couldn't afford to travel.
No.
And if they were a Newcastle team, they couldn't afford to go down to Plymouth, so they were in the
Yeah,
third division.
yeah.
So they
well,
sort
even
of-
these days with some fourth division teams, you think all things
Travel
bad.
expenses must be horrendous, really, mustn't they?
Even
for a
second
club?
division teams were only getting sort of 5,000 or 6,000 into their games, you know. It's-
Yeah.
Or first division team, Charlton don't get many more than that for their matches,
No.
do they?
No. Oh, we got 7,000 last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
7,000, oh dear.
When you think there's been average of 30,000 down
Oh,
there,
yeah.
you do you remember you couldn't get on the pavement, could you, from Blackball Lane down to the valley?
No.
You was just it was one solid mass of walking along the pavement.
Those were the days. I remember
Must have been
coming out.
fantastic.
Oh, it was.
I
you
think
know.
everyone sort of going down there for the match and sort
Yeah.
of the
They used to
atmosphere.
moan because they couldn't do their
Atmosphere's
shopping. They say, oh, forget the shopping, Charlton's fun.
Yeah, Charlton don't, oh gosh, I'm not going out till after the match is over, because in those days the shops used to stay open till late.
I
But,
remember going up Floyd
no,
Road.
Sorry.
after the match up Floyd Road, you know, and you couldn't move, you know.
No.
You
You got lifted. I've had my feet off the ground many times.
Yeah.
So, and that Floyd Road, you like that, and your feet wasn't touching the ground. Just get carried along. All of a sudden, someone moved, your feet are touching the ground. And they used to pass people over their heads in the ground, didn't they?
Oh,
That was
yes,
just-
yes.
You couldn't see, you passed, impossible to get through, so you used to pass over the top. Push over the railings in front.
Were you down there when they had the very, very big crowds, John?
Yeah.
When they played
When I played Villa in the Cup, I was there. I wasn't there when I didn't go to the man at Hybrid. I was at work, and I just you couldn't get off like you can these days and go to the match in the week. I didn't go to the Villas for the replay, but I mean when they got in the cup when they drew,
That's
yes,
right.
I was there.
George Robinson scored equal.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah, I mean, all these things flash through your mind. When I walked into that ground on Tuesday and I stood there by the corner and looked at all these things flash through my mind, all these wonderful goals we see there, you know.
Could you almost hear the roar of the
Almost hear the
crowd?
crowd, you know. But I didn't pop over the line. I mean, I couldn't see anybody there.
It was strange. When I was there on Sunday, it was like there kept being sort of families coming down and were strolling around the ground. You know, obviously, there was one couple, they had a couple of young children with them, and the wife and the children were down on the pitch, I think, but the chap walked right up into one particular spot on the terrace on the
Where he
bank,
used to stand, I suppose.
probably where he used to stand, and he was just standing there leaning on the barrier, just sort of looking out. You know, you could see he was sort of deep in thought. Very, very moving when you see
Yeah.
that.
Nobody there, they're working, wasn't there?
No,
Why were those
nobody.
gates open?
I don't know why they was that.
I've seen
Because
it
they
a couple of times.
because from when I went in there a couple of weeks before, I told you I went there.
Yeah, yeah.
They'd closed off all the ways in.
Everything else was closed except these two gates. As if it was wide open for some transport to come through or something, but there was nobody about.
It's very strange. But when I was there in the down by the dressing rooms, there was a small office, and it was all fire damage because there was a fire in the home
Yes.
dressing room, and but in the small office, pinned on the back of the door, was the team assigned by Lenny Lawrence, the team that he picked for their match against Leeds. I think it must have been the second to last match they played at the Valley.
Oh yes.
So I meant to bring it down. I'll bring that down. So you can have a look at the little bits and bobs that I found. And there was
Yeah.
in the boardroom there was a pile like that of receipts from the seasons between 1960 and 1963,
Really?
including transfer receipts, travelling receipts,
Go on.
telephone bills. I mean, everything to do with the sort of
See,
running
they
of
must have
the.
just moved out and left
Did
a
you
lot
bring it all
there.
with you?
I've got it all, and I've got a big bag. Of it.
Oh,
But,
that-
I had a good old cruise around, and
Yeah.
also in, the house was all smashed up now.
Yeah,
But upstairs in there, there was a whole load of papers, and there was an address book that was all torn up with a lot of the ex-players' telephone numbers and addresses.
Oh.
But it's out of date, unfortunately, because there's people in there, people like Jimmy Trotter were in there,
Oh yeah.
various others. But
Yeah, they must have just.
Well, did you grab that as well?
I grabbed all that, and I worked out all the list of names and things. To try and contact them.
I'll have to have a walk in there. I just walked in there, but
If
I'll
you go
have
down
a
there, take a torch with you, because if you go into the dressing rooms
Yeah.
and the boardroom, I mean, it's completely dark.
completely dark, is it?
Completely dark, yeah.
Oh, I suppose it's there's no windows in there.
Well, there are windows, so everything's boarded up,
Oh, I see.
you see, because the windows are smashed.
But I never
into
know whether there's anybody in there working in there. You never know.
That's right.
Well, I don't think, I mean, all they can say to you is please don't.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to get nasty or anything.
No.
You know, it's, I mean, there were a lot of the people that were wandering around in there. I mean, I was wandering around, I had a camera, if I saw anyone wandering around there, I wasn't worried to think if they were, they're looking up to the ground or anything. I just carried on. But no one said anything.
No.
No one said for the same reason. And there were a few kids came in as well, that's, smashing some things up, which upset me a bit.
Yeah.
But it's in a terrible state, really terrible state. It's,
Well, I can't understand that groundsman saying he could get that pitch ready in 4 to 6 weeks.
no way.
And there's no way he could do it. I mean, it wants all ploughing up and
It
starting
needs to be
again,
reseeded. It needs to
doesn't
be
it? Yeah. I
relaid.
mean, it's terrible. There's got bushes and that growing all over the pitch, you know. Have you seen it? The
No, I haven't been in the ground. Other than pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was just thinking,
No way.
I'm being optimistic about Saturday against Everton, because the year when Everton won the championship before the war in Charlton. Do you remember Charlton was the only team to do the double over them?
Yeah, present champions, aren't they?
They're present champions, but I mean, I'm going back a long time in between the wars.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I remember the goal they got down the valley, when they won 2-1, not Everton players touched it from the kick-off. A bloke named Blot put it in centre forward. Remember Blot?
Yes, I remember Blot.
That's right. Blot.
Yeah.
It's funny how these names
Straight
get
away
named.
from
Heard
it.
of him,
Remember Bat?
Bat,
Yeah.
Bat, D-U-T-T.
Yeah, a little blonde fella.
Yes,
Came from Bath. He did.
That's right. Fair
that's right.
Very
Bath it came from.
Only
Bath.
Well, no chap talking about Bath. He used to play for Charlton. I mean, he's still around now. He's been manager of Queen's Park Rangers and manager of, what's his name, Alex Stock.
Oh, Starr.
Oh, yes,
Starr
Alex
was a
Starr.
nice player.
Yeah. So he was a good manager, wasn't he, later?
Yeah.
George Stevenson.
George
Stevenson, yeah, George Stevenson was a nice player. But I always remember old Johnny Rankin. He was a quiet sort of individual, and they played the old London Challenge Cup. Do you remember those in those days?
Yeah.
It was an evening game, and Charlton had a young centre forward out named Wilson. They were trying to try a lot in the reserves in these cup games. And Ted Afton was in goal for West Ham, and he'd given this bloke quite a rough hand in the goal mouth, because it was give and take in those days. I mean,
yes.
the old goalkeeper would give you a punch in the
charge a goalkeeper.
yeah, and he was allowed.
These days he can't.
If the referee didn't see you, he would give you a punch in the ear or on the nose or anything like that. Anyway, he'd given this rough hand, and I suppose old Johnny Rankin, I'd never seen him commit well, I suppose he had a technical foul occasionally, but I never had. He wouldn't say he was a dirty player, but the ball went upfield one time towards the end of the game. I suppose this young fellow had enough. He'd been to the middle, and the referee went following up, and he stayed behind for this, and he went up and punched old Afton right on the nose. Probably bubbled. If he was still breathing at the end of the game, he had a spoon there. And of course, he was trying to tell the referee that it was Rankin. Of course, no one had seen it. He just bided his time.
Yeah.
He waited till the ball went out there, and poof, yeah, straight on the nose. He was a good player, Rankin.
Yeah.
Yes.
You must have mentioned 50 or 60 names this morning.
Yeah, there was another chap who used to play inside four. We used to call him the farmer's boy. Chap named Riley Cullen.
Oh, Cullum, Riley Cullum, yeah.
Riley
You never heard his class.
Why was he called the farmer's boy?
Well, because he was like this. He used to walk. That's how he used to go. His feet were flat out, and he said he was the farmer's boy.
Riley Cullum, I
He come from
forgot.
some
He
place,
was a local boy,
Kent,
wasn't
yeah,
he? Yeah,
around the
Wellington.
Kent area, and he might have worked somewhere on one of the old farms there. I don't know.
Do you remember Kevin Barry?
Barry,
Kevin
yes.
Barry. He went to play for one of the local companies, didn't he? Was it Standard Telephones or something like that? He used to play for. It was Kevin Barry.
Yeah.
Then there was Dawson. It was in the
Cup
side
team,
of
Tommy Dawson, yes.
Tommy Dawson.
He was good. They're all good. John Evans.
John
Oh
Evans,
goodness me! Now he fed off of Charlie Vaughan. He had no more football.
He was good in the air, wasn't he?
He was good
Yeah,
in the air, but
yeah.
didn't have the football. He was nothing like the football that Charlie Vaughan was. And but he used to sort of, Charlie Vaughan would put in a shot, the goalkeeper would just push it out, and he'd be on the spot to tap it in. He'd get about 2 or 3 goals, whereas poor old Vaughan would get none. We'd done all the work, and that.
Do you remember the centre forward who couldn't score a goal?
Pryor?
No, Stan Pryor was a good player. No, Stan Pryor was quite good.
Oh,
Bloke they signed from what?
Ending.
That's it.
Endy.
Barry Endy.
I was going to say, yes,
He
good
scored
score.
hatfuls of
Yeah,
goals for
no, no.
Watford.
Yeah,
and
that's
signed
right.
for Charlton.
Yes.
He went weeks and weeks and weeks without scoring a goal, didn't
Yeah.
he? And finally he did score one, and everyone went mad, because he scored.
And it was a silly sort of guy, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Barry Endy. I don't
Barry
know
Endy.
what happened to him. He He scored lots of
No,
goals for
that's
Watford.
He did.
He
That's
always
right.
scored.
He scored one for Charlton.
No, he couldn't score of it.
Yeah.
We got
Months before he scored a goal. I remember my son used to go down and say, when's he going to score a goal?
No, that big, tall, thin bloke who was very good in the centre forward came from Grimsby recently.
Oh yes, Tees. Matt Tees.
He was quite good.
You used
He was a good
to,
striker.
you used to feed old Tracy. Tracy used to play
Oh,
there.
Tracy, that's
Play
right.
with along
The
the side of him.
Ray Tracy.
Ray Tracy. He was.
Bobby Ayres before.
Yeah, that's
Oh, Bobby
right.
Ayres was
I
good.
remember when I went Charlton played in the Cup semi-final, I think it was, at West Brom. And Bobby Ayres scored 2 goals. I was up there, went out to see that match.
Yeah.
Bobby Ayres, he was quite good.
Where do you think that players they've had?
I see a player playing Sunday for a team I went to watch. They played a cup final over on Bromwich ground, Thanet versus team called. And the Charlton player was playing inside forward, Bowman.
Richie Bowman.
Richie Bowman.
Oh yeah.
Still playing.
Was he?
Richie Bowman.
Yeah,
He went to Reading.
Reading.
Really, that's right. Yeah.
He's a good little player.
I
Richie
don't know why they
Bowman,
got rid of
wasn't
him for.
Yeah, Richie Bowman.
He still plays.
Yeah, still plays. And Mosnam still plays for the Vets team down the gas company, the wing. Powell.
Oh, Colin Powell.
Plays.
He was a nice.
I've seen him.
winger.
There was another player, he was talking about players being good in the air, but this fella was exceptionally good in the air, and he wasn't as tall as me. He come from Hong Kong, he was an army captain. Billy Kernan. Kiernan.
Oh, Kieran.
Oh, Kiernan.
Yes.
Oh, he was
Yes.
good. Little
He
Billy
could get any
Kiernan.
ball, he'd play against players 6 foot, and he would get the ball, beat him in the air, wouldn't he? Do you remember?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
spring here. He was
yeah.
mild as well. He used to get up to them. Billy Kiernan.
He was stationed out in Hong Kong somewhere, he was a captain in the army.
Was he?
Yeah, and they found out about him, brought him over here, signed him on, and he was there for a few seasons.
Oh
Wasn't he?
yeah,
Back
Billy Kiernan
back
was,
quite
yeah.
well.
Yeah. Slasher Campbell, remember?
When can you remember, go back to?
Well, I'm learning from this. I mean,
See.
Someone brought Campbell.
What
from
about
our
you?
rugby team.
What's your profession?
well, I work
Oh,
at
yeah.
an age exchange in Blackheath Village.
Where?
Age exchange.
Age exchange.
And we do lots of projects like this with all
I see.
subjects. And in all honesty, before I started this, I didn't really know anything about Charlton at all. Very, very little.
Do you follow them now, though?
Now I do. Yeah.
You're going over on Monday?
I'm going to try and go over on Monday. I wanted to go over on Saturday, but unfortunately, I had rather a late night on
Oh,
Friday. So.
yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of going out on Saturday, but I got a little cold, so I finished it then. I stopped thinking about it, but
No,
trying to
mine.
get permission to go over on Monday.
If I could see, I'd be at a lot more matches. Well, I haven't been to any of this. A lot more matches. I would go.
If they were Charlton, would you? If they were
No,
Charlton?
no, I can't see now,
Oh
Archie.
no, that's right. you
That's
can't see
unfortunate. I
that.
went last year to the cup final. It was a waste of money. I had a 14, what was it, about £11 seed or £10. I know it cost me £14. It was wasted because I couldn't see, even though I had a pair of binoculars. I was all right when the ball was for a goal kick or a corner or a free kick,
can't follow
but as
the
soon as
ball
it
in
followed,
that,
you
yes.
didn't know where it was. Do you know
No,
what
you can't
you
follow
can't,
it.
you can't follow it as quickly.
It's a shame.
It is a shame,
Yeah,
yes.
that's it.
But I was, difficulty watching the ball on the box now. Still there is one of those things. But I'm still as keen on old LBC on every Saturday afternoon listening. And I nearly do me nut if I have to go out Saturdays.
Wonder what's happening.
The other Saturday I went
Wonder how
to.
Charlton
I went to read the first thing they opened the door. I had a child going, oh, I don't know, because my wife, although she's had sons, she had 4 brothers that were football mad. She's had 4 sons that are football mad. Now she's got a grandson, and she still doesn't know a cricket ball from a football. She said, oh, you and your football. No, she's been as keen as mustard. But I must take your names, otherwise you're Archie,
Starr.
Archie Starr, and yours is
Two hours.
Harry.
Harry Field.
Harryfield.
It's
She
a
want to
pity
know.
Percy's
She,
not
she,
here
she
today.
want to know all about you when I get home because she's been
Isn't
so keen on me to come to
It's
this.
a pity
Yeah,
Percy's
good.
not here today.
It's a shame
because
Percy's
he would
not
be
here.
about the same.
Percy
Percy,
is
He's
he's
80,
80s, isn't he?
He's
Percy?
84,
Is
is
it?
he?
Yes, he's been coming
He's
and
gone on holiday. He's been coming
he's on
regularly.
holiday now, but
But he'll be back.
You'd love to meet him.
He'll be
Yeah.
back in about 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Yeah, about
He
3 weeks' time.
remembers them when they was in the before they went in the football league.
Before they went in the league, he was at the first cup final at Wembley in 1923.
Yeah.
When,
Yeah.
Bolton.
You got him for
Yeah,
nothing and sat 5 rows behind the
because
queue.
I wasn't at the Bolton game when the fence gave way because that was made. That was
That's right.
Goodman, wasn't it?
Yes, that's
Put
right.
it in the, put the ball in the back of the net
Oh, he
when,
remembers
when,
all
the,
about that
when
one.
the fence came.
I never saw.
I didn't see that.
Oh, I
game.
was only 4 at the time. Yeah, I was 4
Yeah,
then.
well,
But my father told me all about it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game
My
was always
grandfather told
famous
me
for
all
the
that.
white horse going on the pitch, wasn't
Yeah.
it? The police horse.
Oh, at Wembley, yeah,
Wembley.
yeah.
What was your grandfather's version of the story of that event, John?
But that Goodman scored the goal, and then they all went forward to excitement to see the goal, and then that's when the fence went.
Never
He always
understood that.
maintained that Charlton
Yeah.
won that game.
Well, my father gives that same version, really. He said, just as Goodman scored the
Scored the-
equaliser
yeah.
or whatever it
The
was,
fence went.
the fence broke. He
But
said
then
the
what
referee
they all-
disallowed it.
Yeah.
Now, that we've had other versions of that, though, haven't we? The
Yeah.
goalkeeper through the
Well,
ball
the
in net or
chap over the
something.
road said that Goodman and Goodman and Pym, the Bolton goalkeeper, were there. Pym had the ball in his hands. As the fence gave way, he turned round to have a look at what was happening. All this sort of noise and kerfuffle going on
Put the
behind
ball
him.
over the line.
And the ball went over the line. When he realised what he'd done, he quickly threw it away.
Yeah,
The
there's
referee blown
different
out by it.
versions of it. My dad swore that Goodman scored the
Yeah.
equaliser.
And there was Bill. I mean, Bill, your friend. I mean, he was there
He
as
had
well.
a-
He was,
yeah.
but he was down the far end. He couldn't really see what was
That's
happening.
right, yeah. Well, my dad would have been down that end. He was down, he always said he was down the end where they scored the goal. See, we always stood just to the right of the goal post on what was the uncovered goal.
Yeah.
To your left as you're on the big bank.
Yeah.
That, we always stood just to the right down near the railings, all, for years. That was our favourite spot, just to the right of the right-hand goal post. And he would have been standing there and, you know, he said, couldn't score. And the crowd all pressed forward, he said, and the barrow's back, referee doesn't. Well, you know, your memory, I suppose, over the years, it gets a bit hazy, doesn't it? You know.
But it's incredible how an event in 1923 still seems to evoke as many arguments.
That's
now.
right, yes. Yes, 1973 that was.
It's always mentioned. That
David Jack scored for Bolton, didn't he? David Jack.
it's at 11:30.
I must keep
Where's your bus come?
my bus come from. Mustn't keep them waiting, otherwise they might not bring me again. No, they're here early enough. They're outside my door at 9:10. I was down here at 9:30 this morning.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, I got down here a bit early and I went for a walk along the front because I was early to sort of spend time out. If I'd have known you were in here, I'd have come in.
Because we didn't know one another, did we?
No.
Yeah.
So, well, you should have come down and seen you. You'd have loved to have seen Charlie Revel and George.
Well, I'll try and get them down again, and
Yeah.
I'll try and arrange it for when Percy's back as well.
Yeah.
Charlie Revel.
We want a few people for them to talk to.
Because there was a when we had George Green, he's
He's a real character. I mean,
He's a
I'm
character
surprised,
now.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, George
Yeah.
Green's sort of a quiet player, but he's not quiet.
He took the old neg of a donkey, George Green. Amazing.
All the old
Got all the
Yeah.
actions there. He got around telling
He's,
you what
he spent more time on his feet dancing around.
he did. Explain, illustrating things.
Yes, he thought he'd be a quiet. I thought he'd be
He
very
was.
quiet.
All about his days
Very
in
quiet
Spain,
player.
because he played in Spain.
Yeah.
George Green.
Yeah, he
And
went
came back to
Spain.
Chelsea. He was there for 2 seasons.
He
I
went
think.
as manager then to Dartford.
Yeah, I thought he made a good manager, George Green. Yeah, I could certainly talk. Charlie Revel was a nice bloke, as well.
Oh yeah, Charlton is sat there. Lucas.
Oh, Fred
No,
Lucas.
No,
No,
Davis.
Davis.
His
He
name
played-
is Davis.
played
Says
with
Davis.
Lucas.
Cyril
Oh,
Davis.
they're not Cyril Davis.
Cyril Davis.
Cyril
Yeah.
Davis.
Cyril Davis.
Well, they had another player, Cyril
That's
Davis,
right,
didn't
we were
they,
getting
after?
confused.
He was
This was
the
an old,
It
first
was
one.
Cyril Davis, but there seems to be some confusion because there was a picture in one of the papers, and I'm sure that wasn't the Davis who was sitting.
No,
there.
the Davis that came down here, he never did much. He played in one of the
That's right.
wartime cup finals, but he
Still
never really
first
he
team,
never
right?
really made the grades in peacetime.
No,
So
little
He
Welsh
lives at
chap.
Charlton, he still lives
He
there.
still lives here. I mean, nice little fella.
Oh,
And I remember him now,
Yeah.
although he wasn't a regular first teamer.
No, I remember him playing in the other matches.
He went
So-
up north, didn't he, to some Barrow or somewhere afterwards, I think. But he showed me, he pulled up his trouser legs and he got three great red marks on his
Still
leg.
there. But
Still there on his leg, and he said Ted Drake did that.
Ted
he
Drake
said.
done it. Still got the marks on his leg now.
So,
You
yeah.
can actually see the stud marks. can't
Stud
you?
marks,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Still
that's
there.
where it's stab marks on
He
his
said
leg,
that
yeah.
was Ted Drake's
Ted
boot.
Drake.
It's still there.
He was a nice little fellow,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Yeah.
Didn't have
Oh,
much
yeah.
chance to say anything though with
No,
George going.
George, because he was a fan of George Green's both in Welsh. No, he, a bit sad man. Because his wife, he lost his wife. And he said, I've got no interest in anything now, he said.
You're talking about Johnny Rankin. There was another Rankin, centre half.
That's
They had
right.
bought. They bought him. The Seeds bought. Jimmy Seed bought him when he was building the team, and they spent a bit of money when the Glicksteins first came. Big fellow.
Yeah,
Rankin.
that's right. I remember Rankin.
I remember another one.
Yeah. Happy days.
Happy days.
Happy days for Happy Valley.
Yeah, so Sir George Green was very friendly with Bert Turner. I mean, he'd been.
Oh no, he was.
Died.
Now Bert Turner, when he first came, he couldn't. If he was running across the field like that, and the ball came, he used to kick it straight out. He couldn't turn it out the field.
No,
And
that's right.
yet he became international,
Yeah,
captain of.
that's
Wow,
But he was as
that's
raw
right.
as anything.
was at
Whatever
first,
Jimmy
wasn't
Seed saw him, I couldn't make out when I first saw him.
He made the grade. though,
And he
didn't
made the
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah.
He used to kick the ball the way he was going. He
Yeah.
couldn't turn it or in the. To a marvellous player.
But Jimmy Seed had a genius for
Oh.
making players. He played in different positions.
That's right.
You know, and
Yeah, I was going to say, did you ever notice that they used to come outside right, Charlton's
Yeah.
on an outside right. You go down the reserves on the Saturday, you find him playing outside left.
that's right.
So they get to use his
And
left
be
foot.
successful. I mean, John Oakes was signed as a centre forward, and he played in the first team as a centre forward
Yeah.
at first. Wasn't a success. Made him into a centre. He made him a smashing centre half. Then John Oakes. He was a genius at doing that.
I mean, even Bartram wasn't even a goalkeeper when Charlton signed him. He was a
Centre
centre
forward.
forward.
I remember him playing in the reserves when he first
He let 6 goals.
running out to blooming high ball come towards him, and he ran out to punch it. Was one of the just they can play with him.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, didn't want
I
to, you
saw
know,
that.
and all the crowd were cheering at him.
And they
And
said,
he,
where'd they get this bloke from?
where's he? He was down in the programme as Bertram. They didn't even spell his name right.
No.
And
Oh,
a load of rubbish, and you know,
And
it
he
turned
must
out
have made the grade.
amazing, isn't it? I was saying.
But, oh, now look at Welsh. He was a good centre half. He was a good
well,
left
Welsh, I
half.
think-
He was a good centre forward. He was a good
Welsh,
inside
I think,
forward.
still
He
holds
was
the record for playing in 3 different positions for England. He played centre half in England national team. He played inside forward, and he also played centre forward.
Yeah.
And I think he even played left or right half.
Yeah, he was
And
good, wasn't
no
he? Wherever
player
he
has
played,
played
yeah.
so many positions for England.
No, he was good.
It's so good that they put him in different positions because he was the best man in that position at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the first match he played for Charlton. That was away to Millwall. They'd signed him a day before.
Record fee. It was 3,000.
That's right,
Paid
3,000.
From Torquay.
Centre half. He played, yeah. And
Right,
Charlton
centre
won
half.
3-1 at Millwall.
And he never had much hair, even when he was a youngster.
No, he didn't. No,
No.
he's always a bit short of hair.
But he was
Don't
a
know
great
who's
player.
maybe thinking of. Now, who was the young fella they got from centre half? He could play centre forward as well, from Lake Orient. He was very young when they signed him. I don't think he was in his 20s.
Paul Wynn.
When that's
Oh,
right.
was-
He faded out, didn't he?
Well, he got that
He went
injury.
back to
Mm.
He went back to the Orient.
He went to Fulham first, didn't he?
Yeah, he went back to the Orient as a manager.
Where he
He
went?
was Orient.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Oh.
manager.
I know he had an
And then
injury,
he,
which finished him
He didn't do
playing.
so well as a manager and he faded out of football. Poor Wayne. Big fellow, wasn't
Big.
he? Thick.
Yeah,
It's like
oh,
tree
big-
trunk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tremendous, powerful chap.
That's good. That's a good player.
Yeah, poor Wayne.
All the ones I remember are good. I can't.
Because when
Bad player.
Frank Riss.
Frank Riss was another good centre half.
Big fellow. Back push
Yeah.
yeah.
Essex cricketer. Yes.
But then you said about going away to see matches now. I just remember when I was youngster, my mother, so she was a keen football, and a friend of hers, we used to go, because they'd never clashed with Arsenal in those days because they got a good support from this area, who to go to the Highbury, naturally. Arsenal having been
I don't know
originated in
when
this
they
area.
moved from this area, Arsenal. When would that
I
be?
forget when it was, Plumstead, wasn't it, they used to
Must
play?
be the 20s.
In the 1920s they moved.
No,
Yeah,
the
it
20s.
must have been
And
the 20s, wasn't it?
I used to go there alternate weeks, each Charlton 1 week, Arsenal the next.
Well, where did Arsenal used to play at Plumstead? I've never been able to figure out.
Well,
I've never-
I'll see if I can find it. I've got it in print and
I've never found out
and
Plumstead.
the woman has got the picture of the woman standing in the back garden and she's standing on some steps that used to be the terrace of the Arsenal football ground at Woolwich. And I've got that at home, so
Have you?
Oh,
Oh,
well,
that'd
let's
be
see if I can find it.
I've never been able, because they had several grounds in Plumstead. They seem to go from one ground to another, but I've never.
That was the reason for their move. They didn't actually have their own ground, did they? That's why they were.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Highbury.
Really, you know, it's a brave move when you think of it. I mean, I know they went over to their own ground. It's different to Charlton. But damn it all, it's the opposite side of London. You know, how it caught on, I don't know. It's a good move, really.
Yeah.
But I've never been able to figure out where Arsenal played at Plumstead. Well, it's all built on now, wherever it was. But I can never figure out where it was.
I'll see if I can find it.
Same as I can never figure out where at Crystal Palace is the cup final pitch that they used to play the cup finals in the grounds of the Crystal Palace, the old Crystal Palace. I've been over there many times, but never been able to find out where the cup final pitch was. Where they played the cup finals.
I think I found one because
Before Wembley.
years ago I went to the Crystal Palace. I think the day when I went with the uncle on my ticket or something, or it was one of his sons. To the gasworks. They used to have a day at the Crystal Palace, and there was a motorcycle, not motorcycle, speedway.
I vaguely remember seeing the speedway.
But I think that would have been the cup final.
It wouldn't be where they got to run it. That's
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
just track now. Would it? That would be the old football ground. No.
I've got photographs in the book of several cup finals being played at Crystal Palace, and I still can't figure it out where it was.
I remember seeing that burnt down, the old Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see that from right across. You could see that from Brighton, couldn't you? And they said you could see the
Yeah,
glow
it was
from
up
Brighton.
properly up Hilly
I
Fields.
guess so, yeah.
And
Oh, you'd get a good view
yeah,
from there.
That's right.
I went up
Yeah,
Black Heath and
yeah.
saw it, but I haven't seen
You
it.
see it all burning.
Fearsome sight, yeah.
Can't remember the
What
year.
started
Because
it?
I was going to school all night.
Did they ever find out who started it?
But that started it.
No,
Wasn't you, was it? You were near. Remember the first time Arsenal came down to a valley?
yeah, they beat Charlton 2-0, didn't they? There was about 60 odd thousand of that, that's 66,000.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember one match down there when Leslie Compton scored this very spectacular goal. It was Christmas morning.
Oh, yeah.
And he hit the ball right from the corner flag almost, and it went flying right in the net. Out of the